What was it? He bent down and scrubbed at the moss and grime surrounding it. This will prove I was here, he thought. Take this back to the class and tell them it's from the highest stone at Tide Hill Rocks, and no one will call me wimpy again. And so he scratched and scrubbed and pulled and heaved until, eventually, it came loose. It was like nothing he had ever seen, and Tommy was mesmerized. A shining, glistening piece of pure amber. It glowed and sparkled as he looked at it. It felt to Tommy as if he were holding pure magic in his hand. "Wow," he said, staring at the jagged rock in his palm. As he held it, it began crackling and sparkling and lighting up like a fire. Stunned and awed, Tommy held the rock carefully as he found an easier path down the back of the rock. Grabbing his school bag and throwing it over his shoulder, he glanced at the rock, now alive with color. It seemed to dance in his hand. "You haven't ever climbed the tallest stone on the woods and found one of these, have you, Danny?" he asked out loud, laughing at the thought of the confrontation he imagined taking place the next day at school. But there would be no confrontation the next day. And for Tommy Williams, there would be no school either. Because the moment he walked through the gap in the stones to leave the circle, something quite unexpected happened. Tommy, holding tightly onto his rock, took the step that divided the inside of the circle from the outside and disappeared. The woods suddenly felt colder than usual. The darkness hung more heavily. The amber was gone, and now nothing would ever be the same again. Chapter 1. Daisy. I'd been with the Admin and Liaison Department, ALD, for nearly 2 months when the news hit my screen. To be honest, I almost missed it. Not because I wasn't concentrating, although I have to admit, ALD is the most boring department in the whole of ATC. That's above the clouds, fairy godmother headquarters. I'd been put here after what happened with Robyn's dad when he trapped me in a jam jar. My wing still wasn't back to normal since it had gotten crushed in the jar. But I was healing and couldn't wait to get back to doing real assignments again. In the meantime, my job was to cross-reference fairy godmothers with their departments and match them up with their clients. I could do it standing on one wing, provided it wasn't my bad one. So I hardly even thought about what I was doing. Punching in names, numbers, and departments didn't take a lot of concentration. Which might be why I almost missed it when it came up on the screen. It wasn't one of my jobs to assign, so I couldn't see the details. But I saw enough. Jenny Fisher, FG Eagle, 5197, SRB. SRB? No, I must be mistaken. I shut the page on my screen and walked across the office to the client's file. I tried to saunter as casually as I could so no one would have any idea what I was doing. Interfering with an assignment from another department is strictly against fairy godmother code. If I was caught doing it, I'd be in terrible trouble. Luckily, no one looked up. They rarely did. ALD is generally quite a serious bunch. There's a reason why the fairies here aren't out on normal assignments. Sometimes it's injury-related, like it was for me. Others are here because they're not up to par for any of the live assignments, both of which helped give ALD the nickname Angry, Lonely, and Demoralized. I grabbed the file of clients' records and looked up Jenny Fisher. I checked all the details from my screen against the ones in the file. It was definitely her. Philippa's mom. I went cold. Why was she getting a fairy from SRB? I glanced around to make sure no one was watching what I was doing. Then I jotted down all the details of the assignment on the back of my hand, carefully replaced the file, shut down my computer, and ran.